8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome back to another episode of 49 Faithfullee. We're your hosts, Miriah Lee and Teran Lewis. TL, what's good? What's good? How you feeling? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. As you guys all know, last episode I was under the weather, and then I got it got worse after the show, and then I was sick for a few days, and I have a cough that's still lingering a little bit, but it's gone away, which is good. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot better than what I was a few days ago. So can't complain.
That's good. Yeah, each day I get a little better. So finally, my family tested negative today. So that's a blessing. Now it's just to get through this leftover symptoms. I still don't have very good like air supply. I guess I feel like I'm running out of breath like so easily, and
Mhm.
um, like smoking is terrible. Like a like a like a newbie. Like I can't even take one hit and I cough. Like it's ridiculous. So
It's funny.
what's up to the chat? Hope everybody's doing well. Let's me scroll back up here. Melissa, Throwback, Tia, Bebop, Bryant, JDLR.
Big Dave.
Oh yeah, that is. I'm like trying to see the picture. I'm like, who the
Yeah.
hell? OG, Dave the OG. What's up, Dion?
What's up,
Hope
Dion?
everybody's doing well. Good to see
Yeah.
you all. Um, Dion, we'll see you in a couple days. Dion's coming to Vegas. Anybody else
Yes.
that is coming, hope to see you. JV, what's up? What's good, everybody? Hope everybody had a great Christmas. Hope you guys all spent time with your families, got everything you wanted, all that good stuff. TL's girls strolling through. What's up? What's up? Miss Deb, Terra Dome. Dave says I may be in Vegas. I don't know. He's already been drinking
Uh,
in Vegas, I think, because I don't know about that.
is that the bootleg version?
Like beg for ass, or I don't know. There's a lot of
Oh
that
no,
going on here. Yeah.
cool. That'd be cool,
um,
Dave.
yeah. I was down because Tanya, she was supposed to be coming and she's not coming now. So I was upset at her for a little while, but it's okay. I'm getting over it now. No, but due to unforeseen circumstances. And then yesterday I found out that our girl Crystal Peachy's coming. So I'm very happy about that. It'll be
Yeah.
good to finally meet her in person. So let's start off with a couple things real quick. First thing is Brock Purdy. He had a birthday, so happy birthday to him. And then he also got Rookie of the Week for this
Hmm.
week. So that's pretty awesome. And then Nick Bosa, for the second time, as soon as this thing loads, he got, again, Player of the Week, NFC Defensive Player of the Week. I mean, Nick Bosa just can't even be stopped at this point. Like
No.
it's crazy. This week he had 7 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, a stop on 2 point conversion attempt in the fourth quarter. Like, if he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year, I, like that, the voting's like really screwed up.
Yeah. It
Like
should be it
really,
should be a runaway right now. Like
yeah,
I feel like a month ago, it was like him and Michael Parsons, like they were going neck and neck. But Michael Parsons been quiet the last
yep,
few games. I mean, yeah, he's getting his tackles and stuff, but he's not disrupting the backfield like he was. And Nick Bosa just been consistent with it. So yeah, I agree. If he gets it, if he doesn't get it, then something's rigged.
yeah. And now the Vegas odds are way crazy. Like he's killing it. So
Yeah.
um, and I just think you can't. I mean, we talked about though all this time, like even last year, how he got snubbed on stuff, and like if the voting goes that biased, like we know that voting and all this stuff always favors the Cowboys, especially
Hmm.
all the East Coast teams, but especially the Cowboys. Um, so like if he doesn't win this, there like I don't think there's nothing that Micah Parsons could even do these next 2 weeks that would convince me, and not even just from a homer's point, like from a football fan standpoint. There's
Yeah.
nothing that Micah Parsons could do these next 2 weeks to convince me that he should be
Yeah.
Defensive Player of the Year over Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
Tara
I
Jones
agree with
says
that.
nothing like a negative test, pregnancy, STD, and COVID. Yeah, I agree. I've seen some other people sneak in here, so let me find them real quick. I don't want to miss anybody. Tony Montana, see you. Appreciate you coming through. And I did get you messaged Christy messaged me, so I did get the info. So once I send out giveaways and sometime in January, then I'll send yours out. So I did get your info. I appreciate it. David McNew, what's up? Damian Lee, good to see you. Did we say Bryant earlier? I don't know, but hey, Bryant. I'm getting through here. All right. I think I made it through. What's up? Appreciate you guys all coming through. Since we have so many of you in here right now, we might as well have you guys go ahead and drop your numbers, and we'll start off with a giveaway. I brought out some different things this week. Some Joe Montana, Steve Young, different. So we'll do something like that. All right, so let me see. I had some other things to go over before we get into, the games. So the Week 17 NFL PFT Power Rankings came out. They had the 49ers moving up 3 spots and now in first place. The Bills are second. Chiefs are third. Eagles dropped down 3 spots to number 4. Bengals 5th. Cowboys 6th. Vikings 7th. What are your thoughts about that? Because we talked about, prior to this about people in spaces, people on Twitter, how they started giving 49ers, their props all of a sudden and started putting us, at the top of the charts, even with, Brock Purdy, our third string quarterback, and all these things going against us, like people finally started putting respect on our team. And now it seems like, then the local media started a little, now the national media is on board. And to put us at number 1 in the entire NFL, that's kind of crazy. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like it. And and it's not a 49er bias. If you ask who's been if you take the records aside, yeah, I understand that the Eagles only got, the 2 losses or whatever the case may be, but over the last month, they're not playing better football than any of those teams ahead of them. So I like the fact that the 49ers are on a roll. If you just sit back and you just watch the NFL as a whole, and not just your team, the NFL, I mean, the 49ers are the best team in the NFL right now. Like, everybody's keeps saying, like, there's not a team in the NFL that wants to play this team right now because they just look scary, hitting on all cylinders, and got people coming back from injury. So yeah, I like it. I probably, well, I don't know. I think the Bengals. I guess we'll see on Monday. 'Cause I'm saying, the Bengals are, right now are playing better than Buffalo. I think, they're balling right now, and I guess we get to see that matchup on Monday Night Football, right? Is that correct?
Yep.
So that's gonna be a heck of a matchup. So yeah, if you ask me, I don't have no problems with the ranking. So yeah, I think we are the best team in football as we speak.
Yeah. I never thought, like after losing your first quarterback is like a crazy thing. Like most teams are not surviving a couple weeks with their backup quarterback. Obviously, we knew going into the season we were a little better off than most teams with obviously bringing Jimmy back, right?
Hmm.
And then like as much as we didn't want to have to use Jimmy and Jimmy to be there, whatever, he did get us through a big stretch of games there, and then like always happens, he gets hurt. And so for a team to have to go to their third string quarterback, that's most seasons are done. Like that's it. So to
Yeah.
still be going into the playoffs, have the NFC locked down, to be put in on so many different rankings, as the number 1 team in football, like that's just it's definitely crazy. It tells you like really how good this team is. Going in the season, we
Mhm.
kept talking about like on paper this team was so good, but could they get it figured out? Could they make it work? Like you never know what's going to happen. Injuries, um, and man, like, and then the start of the season like was crazy, losing Trey, like losing all these games that we knew we should be winning, and
Yeah.
then to just go on this streak that we haven't lost. And I think I saw somebody tweet yesterday that the 49ers haven't lost a game since the last time we lost a football game, baseball was still on.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. Like it seems like baseball been over forever now.
Seriously.
Like man, like that's like, and one of the girls on Twitter, she's a fan of another team, but her dad is a 49ers fan, and she had posted, like, I saw this thing that she had posted a couple weeks ago, like, I hope the 49ers never win another game. And I saw it yesterday and I commented and I'm like, what the hell, and she's like, well, because my dad, he's acting so stuck up, like, like, oh, like he's too good, like he's all hot shit because his team's winning. I'm like, yeah, he deserves to be acting that way. Like
Absolutely.
when you're on a winning streak like we are, you deserve to be acting cocky. Yeah, that's what she said. He's been acting cocky. That's why. Like he's been pissing me off. I'm like, well, like if your team had been winning all these games and not losing 8 games in a row, like you would be feeling the same kind of way. Like don't be
Yeah.
mad.
No, that's funny. You're right too. People are starting to give us our props. So as you guys all know, like my lady's a Cowboys fan, and it was funny. We were doing this angel tree gift exchange for like kids or like underprivileged and stuff like that. And we're talking, and her cousins, man, he's a Cowboys fan. And of course, I'm in there talking my trash, and somebody was like, "Oh, the Cowboys and 49ers and Cowboys have the same record, so why you bragging?" And her cousin's boyfriend or husband goes, well, if anybody does have a chance, does have the opportunity and the ability to talk trash, it is the Niner fans right now. Like he's a Cowboys fan,
Yeah.
and he was like he has the right to talk trash right now. Now it's just like that's funny coming from a Cowboys fan to say that. So yeah, we're getting our respect from everywhere. Like I hear people at work like, man, you guys are looking good, and you know, and two. I mean, I'm not gonna take anything away from like our team and stuff like that because our team is great. But what I will say is this: that just I want to give Kyle Shanahan some more props as well. You know what I mean? Because we've sat there and there's been times where people have wanted him fired and say, "Oh, he's not doing this, he's not doing that." But the fact, it just shows you that Kyle Shanahan, as long as he has a quarterback who's starting caliber. Now, let me say that because C.J. Beathard and Nick Mullins weren't starting caliber.
Exactly.
As long as he has a starting caliber quarterback, he can win games because of his play calling. So I'm gonna give some shout out to him. Like we've been saying for weeks, even when Jimmy was in, it's like people were like, "Oh, this offense looks like trash, and we have all these weapons and we can't execute." And then and me, you, Dion have all when Dion was on our show this last time when he called in, he was even like, yeah, he goes 99% of the time in this offense, no matter what play call is being ran, there's always somebody open.
Yeah.
And Brock Purdy is executing and seeing all the open receivers. Like I mentioned before, there was a lot going on Christmas Eve, so I didn't get a chance to watch the game because I had my kids and all this other stuff. But I mean, the 2 touchdowns I saw from Kittle, he's wide open. You know what I mean? Like he's wide open. So I just goes to show you, as long as you have a quarterback who can see the field and who can execute this offense, we're a dang good team. And I just don't see nobody beating us as long as we keep seeing what we're seeing and Brock, this defense, and special teams every single week.
Yeah. What's funny is, that one of those touchdowns, Kittle's touchdowns, wasn't even for Kittle, it's for Ray Ray. Kittle was supposed to run the route this way, and Kittle said instead he's seen that the field was open in the middle. So, and he said that Kyle had told him all week in practice, like, I don't care if it's open, like you need to run your route, out so that it draws the defense over, off of Ray Ray, because that touchdown was supposed to go to Ray Ray. But Kittle said when he was running it, he's seen that it was wide open. So he's like, why am I going to run into a bunch of defenders, when I can run this way and there's no defenders there? And he said that he thought Ray Ray, because if you look back on it, like Ray Ray's like hugged up on the side of Kittle as Kittle's, coming down with the ball. And Kittle even said, oh, I thought Ray Ray was a safety. I didn't even know that was Ray Ray till I turned around. But that ball was going to Ray Ray. And Kittle freaking made up his own route and jumped in front and stole freaking Ray Ray's touchdown.
That's hilarious.
Like, What's up, Ryan? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm starting to feel better. A little better, thank God, because for a couple days there is rough. Niner Gang Wolfcast, appreciate you stopping in, brother. Good to see you. And then I had seen someone else, I thought. Let me see. Twin, what's good, brother? Good to see you. We got to get Twin on the show.
Yeah, very
He's a good
knowledgeable.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love his vibe too. His show with his brother, like, is hella good. Like, he's like his twin. His brother is a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
They do a show together. Like, I like it. Like, there's such a great vibe. Like, you can tell. Like, they're just like in sync. Like on so much stuff besides, I guess, the football team.
Hmm.
I think that was everybody. If I missed anybody, I apologize. I try to give you guys all a shout out because we appreciate you guys coming through.
Absolutely.
So a couple of things, let's talk about Brock Purdy for a little bit because I know, it's already all these days past the game. You didn't watch the game, so we'll go over a couple of things. But um, Brock Purdy, he's put on a list with Dan Marino, his favorite quarterback. The reason he wears the number he wears. We know by now his family's Dolphins fans. He was a Dolphins fan growing up. A list of every quarterback since 1950 to throw for multiple touchdowns with a 100-plus passer rating in each of his first 3 career starts. Dan Marino and Brock Purdy.
Mm.
Like, this kid, and you talked about it, like, and how we talk, oh, there's people open, like, we just need a quarterback that can, and always we just need a quarterback that can put the ball in the playmaker's hands, right?
Hmm.
And one of the things I couldn't stand about Jimmy the most is it just didn't seem like he was smart enough. Like, I don't know, like, like, I always say that because it just, like, his processing, his reaction, his, like, just everything from here up to play football, it just seems like he was lacking or, just not as high as some people. And Brock Purdy seems off the charts in those, and the reason that we talked about, like, one of the things that we liked about Trey Lance too was because he was so smart. He's so smart. Um, and he could process things, he could read the defense, like all these things that, like, it don't seem like Jimmy could ever, like, get a hang on. So
Hmm.
to see, like, Brock going in there as a rookie, in such, like, these situations, to go into Seattle, to know that you're coming in on a playoff team, a Super Bowl hopes team, like, you have a lot riding on you that you need to go in there and perform. And, like, he just goes in there and makes it just, like, so effortlessly,
Hmm.
like cool as a cucumber, like, it's crazy. And then you see him, like, put on these lists, like, yeah, and it's not everything. Like, we saw Nick Mullins put on all this other lists, like, with what Mahomes, and they
Mahomes
always,
and
yeah, there's always,
Andrew Luck and all
yeah,
that.
there's always
Yeah.
something they post about him, but
Yeah.
um but I never watched him play and thought, oh, he's gonna be our quarterback of the future. Like, this guy has it. Like, this guy, like, this guy can run this offense. Like, yeah, he had a great game, and then that was it. Like, he was, like, sputtering, and would just, he didn't seem like he was smart enough. Everybody talked about, oh, he's so book smart, he's so this, but he went in there and it's like his processing wasn't that great either. It Purdy looked, once when he's in there, when you're watching Purdy play football, it just looks different. And like you said, to see Shanahan with somebody that's not a backup quarterback, like, yeah, you're watching, and this guy was our third string quarterback. Like, he's supposed to be
Hmm.
a backup quarterback, and you're watching him and he doesn't play like a backup quarterback. Like, he
No.
plays like he should be a starter in the NFL.
Yeah, you're right. That's funny. I didn't even know that about his family being Dolphins fans. I find it
Yeah.
interesting that that's the game that Jimmy got hurt in, and that's the game that
Yeah.
Brock Purdy stepped in to win. That's crazy to me. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, well, like like everybody said too, he's coming from, being a 4-year starter in high school, 4-year starter in college at Iowa State at one of the main conferences, stuff like that. So, the kid just has poise. We always said this before, like that's something that you can't teach. Either you have it or you don't. You know what I mean? So the kid's poised, he doesn't get too rattled, and I feel like he's a quick processor. And I think
Yep.
that's what Kyle Shanahan was, is what he wants. He just wants somebody to read the field and just hit the open man. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of it was, was like, I think with Jimmy is, he probably didn't trust his arm as much, and Brock Purdy, he doesn't really have the strongest arm either, but it doesn't matter to him because he just like, well, if you're open, I'm going to throw you the ball.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's deep, if it's underneath, whatever the case may be. So yeah, I like I like the kids' game. It's crazy to me, like like you mentioned earlier. I don't think there's a team in the NFL, and not even us. Like I don't think any 49er fan, would come in here and say, "Oh, I knew that our quarterback room was so good that if we lost both Trey and Jimmy, that we'd have a chance to win the Super Bowl." If you say that, then you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're lying to yourself. So yeah, it's crazy. I just want to keep this momentum going. Um, having two good quarterbacks is a good problem to have. You know what I mean? So you know, I'm not gonna, I know we're gonna take it 1 week at a time and stuff like this, but I feel like, regardless of what happens in the playoffs, whether we win the Super Bowl, lose Super Bowl, losing the wild card, whatever the case may be, I think that Brock has earned the right to at least go into next year with the open competition. You know what I mean? He deserves that chance because of what the circumstances that he's gotten.
Yeah.
For him to be thrown into a fire and against a good team. It's not like we're playing somebody terrible. We're playing the Dolphins, who were on a roll at that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah. We broke
kudos to
them
him.
now, but they were definitely on a roll
Mhm.
before us.
Yeah. Well, and you know what's funny? It's funny. I was going to say something. Ty just brought it up. We should say this in the military: keep it simple, stupid, or keep it simple, sailors. How we used to use it. And you remember the game last year when we were playing the Bears, and Kyle pulled Jimmy aside and says, this is simple stuff. Can you
Yeah.
handle it? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I don't think that Kyle has really opened up the playbook as much as he probably wants to because he's still a rookie and this is net, but he's opening up enough to his strengths to where he just saying, look, I'm gonna simplify this playbook. I'm just gonna be somebody open on every play. Just all you got to do is just be a good processor and quick, and this offense is gonna roll.
Yeah. What's up, Memphis man? Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. And like you had brought up, Ty's in the chat. Ty's also in Vegas right now. So we get to see him on Sunday as well after the game's over. So happy, excited about that. And then this was funny. Miss Debbie says, "Is there such thing as getting half credit for a touchdown? If so, that should be the type of credit that goes to Ray Ray and George." I have some couple other things to talk about Brock Purdy, but let's talk about Ray Ray for a minute. At the beginning of the season, we had talked about, they made this big deal about getting Ray Ray and for a return game, and that Kyle went out of his way to say, "Oh, Ray Ray's more to me than just a special teams
Special
guy. I
teams.
see him as a receiver, right?" And all this stuff. But at the beginning of the season, he was kind of like, like we're like, okay, well, most of his shit's like fair catches, or he would have like bonehead errors, like where he should have let the ball bounce and go into the end zone. He's like catch like weird shit was happening, right?
Had a fumbling
Um,
problem.
yeah, and like he has really turned things around. Like, man, he has been playing great. With Debo being out, he's stepped into that Debo-ish role, and like he took one to the house, this last week, and man, like he looked great. And like I love him. Like, of course, now that he's like, getting more play time and all this, like he's getting more interviews and all this, so we get to see more of him that we haven't got to see before. But he is like such a team guy, and a lot of guys can, I feel like, get up there and spew a bunch of bullshit. Like they've been trained in the PR department, right? Like they know what to get up there and say and not say.
Hmm.
And we have a few of those on the team, right? Like you already know they're not going to say nothing of like context because they're going to give like right to the book answers of what they're supposed to say, right? Like,
For sure.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, he's a book whatever lunch pail guy, first in, last out, like the same old shit that like coaches and players that are like trained like that say. But like when you get a player that just gets up there and talks like so freely, like he don't give a shit, like he's gonna say, he's not going to talk up somebody. He's not going to go out of his way to talk up somebody if it's not true, right? Like, and he's just like such a team guy. Like on that touchdown, like he gave credit to, like he names off every single person. oh, well, credit goes to, CMC for his block, to, whoever it was, Juwan Jennings, like I forget who exactly was in on the play, but like he lists them all, gives them all credit. And, like they asked him like, cause he's a Pro Bowl alternate. And so they asked him about that. Like, how do you feel about, making the Pro Bowl as alternate, blah, blah. And like, he's like, I'm not going to be happy as making it as an alternate. You always want to make it as the starter, and whatnot. He's like, but my goal is to make it as a team to the Super Bowl. Like, I don't care about the Pro Bowl, like, and every answer like that he gives, like even on his, his presser right after the game, it was the same. Like every answer is just like all about his team, like today this interview that I watched today, like he goes on about Coach Shanahan, about how he's a team, got like a players coach, how, not just the players there want to play for him, but coaches want to coach with him, and he's like, how much of a difference that is, how much, and that, like he's like, you guys might see it on Twitter or whatever, the quarterback room. He's like, but that quarterback room between Brock and Jimmy and Trey Lance, like it really is tight. Like they are like genuinely brothers. Like they are genuinely friends. Like those guys love each other, like, and that starting there at the core, number one position on the team, just, he's like, that just trickles down onto the team, and he's like that, the entire locker room is like that. And it's just like, it's cool to see like guys that we don't really get to see too much. Like we watched Kittle, not to take anything away from him, but we've watched him get up there and do a presser 6,000 times by now, like the same guys all the time. So now to get to like, see a peek through into these other guys, that are really coming through and stepping their game up on this team that already had so much talent, right? Like Ray could have easily came to this team and just fell to the bottom and got, covered up by, all this other talent and whatnot. But like, he's really making a name for himself, and it's good to see. Like he had a hell of a week this week too.
Yeah, he did. I mean, like I mentioned before, I didn't get a chance to watch the game because I had a lot going on. But I mean, I saw they had like a 70-yard touchdown run,
Mm-hmm.
and I think and it's funny because you and I before the season started were like, man, because Kyle was talking to Ray so much, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can't wait to have this guy, and like, and my first thing was like, yeah, like we finally have us a good kick punt returner that we've been lacking since Ted Ginn. You know what I mean? I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not on his level. I'm not saying that, but somebody who can take it to the house. You know what I mean? But then when I kept thinking about like, why is he so excited about this guy? And I was like, you know what? I bet you it was what it was, is because he was looking at Ray McLeod to be his 2016 Taylor Gabriel, where he was a fast slot receiver to come in and take the top off the defense. So I felt like I felt like Kyle was more of like, man, I have my guy who can stretch the field. I have my quarterback with a strong arm who can hit him deep, and then we got Danny Gray. So I think that's why he was so excited about Ray. Because if you remember when he was offensive coordinator, he used Taylor Gabriel a lot. Like he was a big part of that offense.
Yeah.
So I think that's what he was looking at. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad that he's starting to come into a zone now, as you mentioned before. He had a fumbling problem. Like he didn't look impressive. I'm gonna be honest here. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, man, like he looked impressive, but I feel like he's getting more comfortable into his role. And yeah, he's starting to look good. And for him to be a Pro Bowl alternate is awesome. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Because man, like that's more than what I was honestly expecting, right? Like when Pro Bowl
Yeah,
starting, like I wasn't thinking like, oh, Ray's gonna get, like so. Yeah.
yeah.
Let me see what else we had here. I had some more Brock Purdy things, pretty cool things. Did you see that Brock Purdy and Debo were at the
At the
Warriors
Warriors
game on
game.
Christmas?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
But it's funny because it didn't look like they were actually sitting together. Like it looks like they were together for the picture, and then after that, like Debo was sitting there with his girl or whatever, and Brock was sitting somewhere else. Like
yeah,
so, I don't think it's like they actually went to the game together,
yeah.
But
Yeah, it wasn't like the situation where it was like Kyle Juszczyk and McCaffrey and
yeah, they're
and
all
all
sitting
them.
there like
Yeah,
homies together. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, Melissa. Willie Snead was one of the guys that Ray gave credit to on the block as well. Um, I know a couple of you have joined. We're doing a giveaway. I'm going to draw it right now. So if you guys want to scroll up, if you haven't entered your numbers yet.
yeah.
Denise,
Uh,
what's up, sis? Hope you're doing better. Good
for
to see
sure.
you.
The first number, fam, starts at 3:54 p.m. Pacific time, and the first number is Tony Montana at 42. So if you guys want
All
to
right.
go from there to make sure you guys don't duplicate.
Tony Montana.
Tony Montana, her womb is so polluted. I love Scarface.
During the game, they brought up this stat about McCaffrey. That was the gift that keeps on going. Christian
Yeah.
McCaffrey sits week 8, 116.9 scrimmage yards a game, which is 5th in the NFL. 8 total touchdowns, 4 rushing, 3 receiving, 1 passing. And the team was 7-0. You know, at this point, 7-0 with him as the starting running back. So.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a mixture of Purdy being pretty good and the CMC effect.
Oh, that's for sure.
All
He's
the
a safety
talent,
blanket.
you know, like, yeah.
Well, like, you know, and we've, you know, you and I have talked about this before. It's like, you know, I was shocked in the beginning to begin with that we even got him because I didn't think we had the draft capital to even make that move. But yeah, like, you know, when him and Debo are on top of their game and they're healthy, you can argue, like we said, two guys in the league that are top 5 offensive weapons. You know what I mean? If not top 3.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. All right, let's pick this winner. Let me find out what we're picking for before I
All
pick
right.
it. Let's do this Joe Montana, and we'll throw in George Kittle. All right, so go with these. Good luck. Good luck. 68.
Oh wow, Miss Deb won.
She guessed it exactly.
Exactly. Yep.
Yay, Miss Debbie.
She's at 354. She's right under Tony Montana.
Right, there you go. So Miss Debbie also won something else. Where are we? There we go. Miss Debbie also gets this autographed Danny Gray card for guessing exactly right. So you'll get all this Danny Gray, Montana, Kittle. Congrats.
That's awesome, Miss Deb.
Yeah. Let me play our little thing for you, Miss Debbie. Congrats again, sis. Get this. So now we got to put in something else in the place of that autographed card. So when you guys guess exactly right, we'll have something else. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, this game overall, like, it was good to see. I mean, we got in down there a few times, like, and didn't come away with a touchdown when I thought we should have. You know, but obviously we had this game already put away. A couple of those were, you know, I've seen like people trying to talk of like Mike McGlinchey this week, like, oh, he hasn't given up a sack since week whatever, you know, and all this. But like he had 2 costly false start or whatever penalties this week when we were down in the red zone, 2 separate drives. And, you know, instead of coming away with 7 points, like we ended up having to kick a field goal, like, you know, and you're a vet. Like, why are you making such stupid freaking mistakes?
Yeah.
You know, like it's always like, as soon as they throw the flag, like I already know who it's going to fucking be, you know, in those situations. Like you already know it's going to be Mike McGlinchey. It's like, why? Like, oh my God. Like, yeah, he might not have given up a sack, but how many pressures has he had? How many penalties freaking has he had? How many points has he cost us because he has these fucking stupid penalties, you know? Like, how many times, he might not be giving up a sack, but Purdy's having to run for his freaking life because right away the guy is freaking running through free. You know, it's like so ridiculous.
Yeah, for him to be, you know, a top 10 pick, you know, and to still having these same stupid I mean, it's funny too because like I mentioned before, I feel like I expect these every game, which is sad. Like I would expect that from a Spencer Burford, even a Jake Brendel, or like Aaron Banks. But for every time there's a hold or a flag thrown, you're like, oh my god, here it goes again. Sure enough, it's always Mike McGlinchey. I'm like, dude, you're too much of a seasoned vet to be having these mistakes. But I mean, and I get it. There's gonna be games every once in a while where you hope because even Trent Williams gets them sometimes. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But man, this dude gets one every single game, and I get it. Yeah, he hasn't given up a sack per se, but still, the dude is making mistakes every single game. So I don't know. And what sucks about it too is I have a huge feeling he's gonna be back next year on an
Oh my
extension.
god. I'll throw up.
Look at Tony Montana. My 10-year-old calls out Mike McGlinchey's his penalties. That's
Yeah, it
sad.
gets
That's sad.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's your brother, right?
Yes, my brother. Yep.
What's up? What's up?
Thanks for the support, bro.
CTL's brother. I appreciate you coming through. So we'll do this vintage Diamador Lenore
Okay.
in the place. So next time somebody guesses exactly right, you'll get that. Congrats again, Miss Debbie. That one went pretty fast. Like usually the ones before that have taken a while. That one got picked pretty
Well,
fast.
yeah, it was just funny because I was at the top of the list, and like I said, Tony Montana was first, and Miss Deb was right under him, so I could see it right in my view. And as soon as you showed me your phone, 68, I was like, Miss Deb won. It was right in my face.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I thought I had saw somebody say something. I don't know. And then those for the didn't catch the live stream, the instant reaction show. JDLR won the score predictions, so I already got him something packaged up and ready to go. So we'll get this week's in a little bit. Another stat type thing that came out this week was that touchdown pass from Purdy to George Kittle was the first touchdown pass the Niners have had traveling 30 plus air yards between the numbers since Jimmy Garoppolo to Emmanuel Sanders against the Saints in 2019.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow. Between the
Yeah.
numbers, they said, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And regardless, I mean, Jimmy only threw between the numbers.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Yeah, I was trying to think about. I was trying to think of that one that what's his name threw against the Houston Texans last year. Trey Lance to Debo, but I think that was outside the numbers, though. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll start with
Crazy.
Cowboys Eagles number 38 here. Go ahead and enter your numbers for the next giveaway.
Dang, since Emmanuel Sanders. So we haven't had an inside the numbers touchdown over 30 yards since 2019.
30 air yards, yeah. Everything else has been,
Wow. Wow.
And yet, people hyped up the quarterback for getting the job done.
Hey, he wins. Okay.
Yeah. Well, so does every quarterback, starting quarterback that stepped in the place too. So
Yep. That starting caliber, like me and Ryan mentioned. Yeah.
For this giveaway, we'll do this Joe Montana star, and we'll do some Deebo Samuel with it.
Yeah, throwback. I'm a bit surprised. I thought we've had one after that, but that's crazy. What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean, Melissa? What am I feeling about Juice? Best fullback in football. I mean, I don't know what more you want me to say.
Oh, so there was a very stupid play this week. Like at the very start of the game, Kyle goes for it on 4th down, and again the play goes to fucking Juice. Like he's not like I don't understand why you're having Juice run the ball on a 4th down. Like
I don't
such
get
a
that.
stupid play, and then Juice is like getting cut off. As so I don't know if it was designed in the play, but he pitches the ball out to like CMC, who's like about to go out of bounds anyway. So like the whole play was just a freaking cluster shit, freaking mess. But it's like, why do you put Juice in there in that situation? Like
It
all
never
the other
works.
times that you could use Juice, and you put him in there on those 4th downs that fail time after time after time after time. Like, oh,
What was it, like 4th and 1 or what?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why he keeps doing that. It never works. Like use TDP and Jordan Mason in that situation.
Well,
I don't
Jordan
know.
Mason had got hurt on the very first play of the game. Like, he was already banged up with a hammy going into the game, and then the kick return, he got hurt, and I think they thought it was a serious knee injury, and they kept him out. But luckily, it was okay. But yeah, that was pretty scary because, but it was crazy because I had missed the first couple of minutes of the game. So once I get situated, I sit down. That's the very first play I see is that fucking play to Juice. Like I think one play before that, and then that, and I'm like, oh my god. And then at that point, like TDP was already in there running. And I'm like, these last couple games when TDP wasn't dressed or he's, just riding the pine, and Mason was the guy, like we're bitching because we don't see him till the third, fourth quarter. And it was the first time we had got the ball in the first quarter, and TDP is already having runs. Like that was kind of crazy. I mean, neither running back did great on the ground, but like it would be something like, say, CMC had all these yards on the ground and TDP didn't have shit. Like then I'd be a little concerned. But
Yeah.
I mean, actually, neither did well, and TDP averaged more yards per carry, by a little, like point whatever, but still than CMC did. So it's not like he, got in there and didn't look great either. So yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting. Like, dang, like we're seeing TDP already, and like we didn't see him that much, throughout the game, but we did see him early and sprinkled in throughout. So
yeah,
kind of interesting. I'll be, and Chris Forrester and Kyle both talked about, that TDP, like that he did good. He didn't make any mistakes. He hit every hole that he was supposed to, so it'll be interesting to see how they split up the backfield this week. Let's see if I had any more stats to blow your mind.
Yeah, as much as I like Juice, like there's no secret how much I love that guy as a football player, but him being used as a short down runner, I don't like that. Like, just give him the ball in space, and I feel he's a better like tight end slash,
Yeah.
than he is as a running back. You know what I mean? Cause like I legit think he can change positions and be a good tight end, to be honest. Like he has some
Yeah.
great hands. He runs pretty good routes. But yeah, I don't like to use him per se as a running back. Like he's no Tom Rathman type guy who's gonna be a bruiser and get you in there like that. So
Yep. So since you didn't really watch the game, we won't really do any flowers. I had my flowers set to go to Ray Ray, who we've already talked about, and to Ray Ray and to Brock. So we talked about both. So that's good. And obviously, the defense, they can get a bouquet of flowers every game.
yeah,
It goes without saying. Nick Bosa, I mean, he can own the flower shop by this point.
for real.
He's giving out the fucking flowers now. Like,
What was it, 17.5 sacks?
Yep. Yeah, so I mean, they had asked him, like, oh, do you think that you'll pass the single season? Like, and I don't think that's gonna happen, but he said like he's shooting for Alden's record, which is what?
19.5, I believe.
So, and he has 2 games to do it. I think that's very likely that he passes that. We've been talking about since the beginning of the season, this 20 piece about him, just signing autographs with 20 piece before the season even started. And, he could very well get that 20 piece.
Yeah, all he needs is 3 sacks in the next 2 games.
Yeah, and
Jarrett Stidham, he might get them all against Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Raiders, man. We'll go ahead and get it with this giveaway done before we jump into the Raiders. But yeah, they're a freaking pile of clusterfuck there.
So yeah, it's a mess. Josh McDaniels is so trash. After he coached the Broncos, I knew he was boo boo. I'm like, I don't know why he got another shot.
Exactly. Like, I'm sick of that shit. Like, coaches that don't deserve second. Like, okay, I shouldn't say they don't deserve. Probably every coach maybe deserves a second chance. Like, we never know the situation they're going through. Their GM that they're dealing with, the owners, the organization. Some are just dumpster fires. Like most coaches, no matter. Like, if you go to the Jets, you're set to fail. If you go to, like some places are just shit.
Teams,
So I shouldn't say that, but it seems like so many coaches that like they don't even get a first chance. let alone a second, third, fourth, fifth chance. And then you have other coaches that, they can go in there and no matter what type of performance they have, or what their team looks like, or, no matter how the situation turns out, like they get other chances, so it's just kind of, again, how the NFL is kind of crazy and crooked and racist and sexist and everything else you could add to the list.
All the above. Yeah.
All right, everybody got their numbers in? We'll do this giveaway. Then we'll get into this Raiders game coming to our city. The 49ers are coming to Vegas. Like, I never thought like that would actually be a thing, for so long, my entire life, 40 freaking years, we don't have a fucking football team. And now I get to actually say like, wow, the 49ers are coming to play in Vegas.
Yep. It's crazy. Okay.
And tickets are $800.
So. Yeah. And that's nosebleeds at that. Yeah. All right. I went up to Cowboy Angel because she's first at 38.
Okay. Everybody got your numbers? We're drawing. Going once, going twice. This week, I checked in after our show. I went and stopped in on Ty's show, and I didn't even know they were doing a giveaway, and they were doing the number giveaway. I love to see all these people doing the number giveaway. It's pretty awesome now, because Breezy does that, the number giveaway too. Ms. Debbie was asking what app I use for the number giveaway so she could do it for her, stuff. So it's pretty awesome. But yeah, I stopped in over there. And normally even if people are doing giveaways, I'll share it, just to get the word out there. But I don't like entering stuff, because I just don't feel right winning stuff. I don't know. But they're doing a jersey giveaway. So I'm like, well, let me enter, and we had just talked about the teams that the players who it was coming in who made the Pro Bowl and all that. And so, had just announced that Talanoa Hufanga had made, his first Pro Bowl. So I was like, let me go with Huff's number. And I guessed exactly right. That was exactly the number.
What?
Yep. So, of course, I picked the Hufanga jersey.
That's awesome.
Yep. They got a good little show going on over there. A whole group of good people. There's a couple of people on there I didn't know before that. Obviously I went there for Ty and then seen that Jess was there too. So I'm like, okay. But there's 4 of them, and then they had 2 guests, Beto and Amin the Dream were on there.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah. So they had a good panel going. It was a very good show.
Oh, we got to hit up.
How we
he
do.
wanted us on our show, huh? Didn't he ask us to be on the show? Yeah, we got to hit him up after.
Yeah, Beto, I told him, that we had to try to figure out something for your work. And then also 49er Minded reached out today and wants us on the show this week. So I don't know. All right, so let's draw this winner. Let's draw it. We're going to get somebody else to guess exactly right. We'll see. Good luck, everybody. I was making sure we had no last minutes. Double B, what's good, brother? Good to see you.
Number 5.
Trey Area. Number 5.
All right.
69.
So far, I see 3 with Brian Cope.
Tanya's always lost. I don't ever know what the hell's going on. Let's see, Wolf with 9.
Tanya's so funny.
Is somebody closer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bryant, yep. That's the closest.
Bryant. The Colts, they've been taking over. They've been winning lots of shit lately. I just address it to the Colts now and let them fight about it once it gets there. Here's to you, Bryant. Congrats, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you both. Get this. All right. So the Raiders, it came out this week, obviously, that they were benching shutting down Derek Carr for the rest of the season. That was wow, that was very surprising because,
Yeah.
like besides the play on the field and whatever you could think about, Derek Carr, like he is the Las Vegas Raiders. Like
Yes.
like he especially being in Vegas, like that guy is the face of the Las Vegas Raiders. So for
Yep.
them to say before the season even ends, like, and we can say, oh yeah, he's been playing like shit, whatever, but I mean, the entire team hasn't been playing well, right? It's not like the team has been playing great and then he goes out there and just lays an egg. It's not like the coaching has
Exactly.
been great and he goes out there and lays an egg, right? It's like he goes out there and lays an egg with the entire team and coaching, right? And so for them to say like we're shutting down Derek Carr for the rest of the season, and then a few little bit while later, reports are coming out that they're shutting down Derek Carr for the rest of the season so he doesn't get hurt and can be traded in the offseason.
Well, they said that too.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
I know that he left the team as well, so he wouldn't be a distraction per
yeah,
se. But I feel like it's more of a distraction him leaving.
yeah. Now you have that Devontae Adams that like just gave up like a great situation for himself there in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers to come play in Vegas with his college quarterback, his best friend. And now you're gonna trade Derek Carr. Like, so Devontae Adams released something on his Instagram or whatever saying like, like Derek Carr gave everything that he could to this team. Like he's
Hmm.
the reason I came to Vegas. Like, and I'm gonna ride with my brother, no matter what.
Hmm.
Like, and now some other players are coming forth and saying stuff like, I don't know, like the Raiders have just been a complete shit show since they've come to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Um, from the shit that happened with their coaches to obviously Henry
Henry
Ruggs
Ruggs. Yeah.
and like everything. Like it's just been a complete mess. And like, and I don't think Derek Carr is some great quarterback, but to try to it just seems like they're trying to use him as a scapegoat now. Like,
Hmm.
okay, we got rid of the coach, we tried to put whatever we could on him, all these failures on him. Well, Derek Carr rallied and brought that team to win games after they fired their head coach last season. Like Derek Carr brought that team and rallied them when they had players out there killing people on the streets, when
Yeah.
there are other players are getting arrested for DUIs, when all this other shit's going on. Like Derek Carr was the one rallying that team together. Like
He
he's
sure
been the
was.
heart and soul of that freaking team since they've come to Vegas. So like I'm very interested to see like how this all plays out because now does Adam stay? Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't, if I was him.
No. And I don't think that they'll trade him. But yeah, Josh McDaniels to me, I'm sorry. As a coach, the man is trash. As an offensive coordinator, he's good. That's probably what he'll probably run his course there with here in Las Vegas too. Then he'll probably be welcomed with open arms back to Bill Belichick. You know what I mean? Dude is terrible. He's not, they're not taking into account. And like I said, I'm not putting David Carr. I mean, sorry, David Carr, Derek Carr top 10 or anything like that. But he is a middle of the pack, top 12 to 15 quarterback, I believe. Like whenever he's on. But yeah, I mean, people forget like the offensive line there is trash.
Yeah.
Terrible offensive line. Hunter Renfro and Darren Waller were both out for significant time. He
Yeah,
wa- all
Waller
he
been
wrote
out for like the last
Waller been
fucking
out.
3
Yeah,
seasons. Like
yeah. So yeah, he's been out all year. Hunter Renfro, who's a great slot receiver, he was throwing to Devontae Adams, and that's it. Like you know what I mean?
and that
That's all he
Afro
had.
guy that we had never even seen until
Yeah. Yeah, and then of course Josh Jacobs has had a great season, but even he's coming
yeah,
out and he's making comments too, like he's not happy there,
yeah,
So yeah, so I don't know. I to me, I'm always gonna put more emphasis on the head coach being the issue because if you've seen a problem, then you need to change it. Like why'd you if Derek Carr was that much of a problem, then why'd you change it earlier? You know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
feel like because the record
It
is so
took him all
trash.
these years, like
Yeah, I feel like the record is so trash that he's using him as a scapegoat. And Derek Carr, you know what? He's been such a good guy too. He does so much for the community here in
yeah,
Vegas as well. And like I know him and his wife, during the Christmas holiday, were they're feeding the homeless and stuff like that. So it's just a mess. Like I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and cry tears for the Raiders because I hope
yeah,
we dog
mhm,
walk them. But I'm just saying, like Derek Carr is a good person, and he's not a bad quarterback. Like no, he's not the best, but he can win you games. But um, I don't know. It's just a mess. But you hit the nail on the head when you said since they've been here, the Henry Ruggs thing, the stuff with John Gruden and the emails, the what's that dude's in that corner, that Arnett guy
Yep.
that had the guns in his car that weren't
Hmm.
registered. I'm like, dude, you're a millionaire. Your guns ain't registered?
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. And it's so easy to get a gun out here. You walk into a gun store, you pay for it, you get your gun in 1 hour.
Yeah.
So you to have unregistered pistols is just ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know. It's crazy to me, but I don't even know what to say. It's sad what's going on in that situation.
What's up, Ryan? Good to see you. Load the truth. Good to see you. Go ahead and enter your numbers. We'll do another giveaway. Let's do some TDP love, and we'll go with Montana. Dang, it got dark. Let me turn on
It
some
did.
lights here.
JV said Gun Mart Express. Yeah, I'm not lying, brother. You walk into a gun store, as long as you got a clean background, you walk in there, you pick the gun you want, they do a background check, and you get your gun within 1 hour, bro. Like, there's no excuse to have two and three pistols in your car that are not registered. It's crazy to me.
Hey, Sin. Hope you're doing well, sis. Good to see you. So yeah, enter your numbers 1 through 100. Do the Joe Montana TDP combo. And yeah, I mean, you talked about, and the players they do have. So they're obviously have Jared Stidham, right? He came from the Patriots, I
Came from
believe.
the Patriots, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So, and Jacobs, who's having a hell of a season. But other than that, their offense is pretty nothing. Their defense, most of it's on the IR. They got Max Crosby, which is their entire defense right now. So yeah, they asked, I think, Kyle yesterday in the presser, like, it seems like, the Raiders have already packed it up and, like, given, shutting down the season. So, like, you have to talk about your team, like, not playing down to, their competition, like, so that you don't go in here and pretty much lay an egg to a team that's already shut down shit. And he's like,
Yeah.
well, I wouldn't expect that you have to do that, like, with this team. Like, this team only knows how to play one way, so I'm not expecting that, they should go in there and play that way.
Hmm.
So, I really hope that we don't, because that would be freaking disgusting. Like,
Yeah.
um, before we get into that too much and I get your feelings on the whole Raider situation, they had also asked Kyle about, like, now that you're in this situation, how do you go about, like, not getting your players hurt in these last couple games, and like, resting players, and, like, how do you go about that whole situation, right? Like, because you obviously aren't, it's very unlikely you're going to get the number 1 seed. You're
Hmm.
already scheduled in there for the number 3 seed, right? Like, so, like, how do you do that balance, like, for playing to the number 2 seed, or like, without risking injury to your top players, right? And he said that, I have wrote down, because he said this. Oh shit, I'm calling my wife all of a sudden. He says, tell them, that it's hard, because you can't tell them not to play for 3 weeks and then, tell them to come play at a high level for 3.5 hours in the most meaningful game that you're going to play the entire season.
Hmm.
So what are your thoughts? Like, what do you think they should do? Because he talked about, like, really these players that right now, that aren't really playing, that are injured, like Givens, should be back for the playoffs. These other guys that, are like right on the edge, right? They're, like, kind of beat up, but, like, we've been Debo, like, he talked about, like, those guys are the guys that you have to be the most careful with, because you don't want to rush them back too soon and then they get hurt, right? And now they're going to be out the playoffs.
Yeah.
But then do you just bring them back? Okay, you don't let, like, say Debo, we'll use Debo as an example. Like, what do you
Hmm.
do with him? Do you have him come back? Because he practiced today, limited, right? So do you have him come back and play this week, even though he's what, 80%, we'll say? Or,
Hmm.
do you have him come back next week so he at least gets, his feet wet a little bit before the playoffs? Or do you hold
Hmm.
it for the first playoff game? Like, like, what do you think there?
So I say this. I say if the players are 100%, well, and even though the whole year you never get nobody 100%, but they're good enough to play. I say play them. business as usual. But what I will say, like with Debo, like if you want to put him on a pinch count, I'm fine with that. He's missed the last few games. You want to put him back in, just put him in, but put him in as a receiver only. Don't put
Yeah.
him in as a running back. Maybe let him get like 10 to 15 snaps at wideout just to get his legs back under him and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what I would say. Same thing with with like the Kevin Givens and stuff like that. Just put them on snap counts. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say just hold them out. I mean, I think more than likely we're staying at the 3 seed. So it's not like we're getting a bye. So after we beat Arizona, we're going to be playing the very next week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just say that just put them on a pitch count because you still have to get back into football shape somewhat. I know he's been practicing, but I'd hate for him just to sit out because everybody's assuming we're going to win these next 2 games, which I do too. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like you don't want to sit him out for these next 2 games and say, okay, now we're playing. The Giants and the playoffs. I don't want you to play. You still got to get that wind up under you. You still got to get back into some football shape. So um, I feel like the way that Kyle is calling his games, he's been in his bag, and I think we'll
Yeah.
be okay. I don't think because when you start playing scared and conservative, that's when people get hurt. You just go
Yeah.
in there and do business as usual, do the same type of play calling, but the people coming back from injury, don't coddle them. Let them play a little bit, but like I said, it don't have to be like a bunch of snaps. Just like I feel like let's just say like you brought up Debo. Let's just say this week, 10 to 15 snaps. Then he practices the following week. We play Arizona. Give him maybe 25 snaps if he's not fully healthy. And then when playoff time comes, then it's full force. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then the last couple of games he's got back into football shape. He's out there running routes again. But all I say is if he's 80%, just use him as his what he's designated to do and be wide receiver
I
and
agree.
don't run him and give him the ball in the backfield. That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, and I mean, with Debo especially, because we saw that Ray, of course, he's not Debo, by no means.
Hmm.
Debo's Debo, but Ray can fit into that Debo role and get the job done in those other, situations that Kyle usually puts Debo in.
Hmm.
Um, what's up, Peachy? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping in. Can't wait to finally be able to meet you. We already told the chat earlier that you're coming. So the practice report just came out for today, and yeah, Debo is limited, and also Javon Kinlaw. He did return last week. We didn't bring him up. And they had him on a pinch count. I think Kyle said he got like a handful. I forget how many, but that after the game and so far this week, he hasn't had any setbacks. It looks like they held him out of practice yesterday, but he was limited today. So of course we know they're not going to put him in their full practice. Like I
Yeah.
don't expect any of these days up until the playoffs that we see Javon Kinlaw a full participant at practice. Like I'd be very surprised.
Yeah.
Um, Ambry Thomas, he was limited yesterday and he did not practice today, so that's not a good sign with his ankle. Let's see. Eric Armstead, Kerry Hyder, Jordan Mason, CMC, all limited. Nick Bosa, he didn't practice yesterday because of an illness, but he was full participant today. So that's good news. Trent Williams rested, vet rest day yesterday. He was full today. Mitch Wishnowski didn't practice yesterday because of an illness, but he was full
Mm.
today. So, I mean, yeah, I think we're looking in the best shape that we could possibly be looking, With the Raiders, they have a bunch of players on IR, so their actual practice report isn't that big. They have tackle Jackson Barton. He's limited. Obviously, we talked about Derek Carr. He's not participating. Nate Hobbs, their cornerback, he was a full participant. Zamir White, their running back, he was limited both days with an ankle. And then cornerback Rock Yassin, he's been on the IR, but they opened his practice window, so he's back in practice. So we'll see. I don't know if they activate him or not for this game, but either way, I'm not that worried about it. So real quick, everybody that's joined, David Villa, I see you. Appreciate you stopping through. Enter your numbers. You have to scroll up and see. Make sure you don't enter no duplicates, but we're in the middle of a giveaway, so go ahead and get your numbers in. So yeah, how you feeling about this game? The whole Raiders situation.
I mean, looking at the way we've been playing, I feel like we're gonna go on them and just give them the business. However, these are one of these games where I just hope that they're not going in there cocky and be like, "Oh, no Derek Carr, we're gonna go and dog walk this team," and then it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? I'm not scared. Like I said, I'm not scared. I think we're going to win. I'm just saying, like, it shouldn't be close at all. Like, there's no way it should be like a 24-23 type game. We should go in there and drag these dudes. No starting quarterback. It's gonna be you got an unhappy Devontae Adams. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's
Happy running
huge.
back. Yeah.
That's huge. An unhappy running back, who was like, I'll show you if you don't want to give me my fifth year option. You know what I mean? Like, he's been balling. So offensive line is terrible. So I think we're gonna go in there and just give them the business. I think the game might be over, like in the third quarter, if I'm keeping it real. And if it is, let's just say it's like 34-7 in the third quarter, something like that. Then I'm okay with like sitting a Christian McCaffrey and stuff like that, and getting like TDP or Jordan Mason some more reps. But yeah, you want me to give a score prediction as well, or you want me to hold off?
Sure, you can give it.
Okay. Um, like I tweeted out earlier, we're going to win this game, I think, 38-10.
All right. I saw Melissa says we have a duplicate in the numbers, so I don't know who the duplicate is,
I
but
I think Denise that was the second round. I think JV starts off the first round at 23, so there is no duplicate.
okay. And then Ryan says about the merch. So I had to work on new designs for the merch last week because they had to be saved a different way than what the other program could save them. And then obviously I got COVID, so this week I haven't done anything. So those designs are in like the final steps of being done, and then I have to ship them out to the Colps, and the Colps will put their magic to work, and then we'll have some merch for you guys. So we're getting very close, very close. It should be, maybe we can make it happen during the playoffs.
Sounds good.
But half of my Colt team, they're expecting a baby. So like we can't
Oh,
be putting them to work too
congratulations.
hard, Can't be making them work too hard. She already got to work her regular job. I can't be making her work too much. So you'll get it when she gets to it, okay? That's all I can tell you. Not rushing her.
She'll be fine. I'm just playing.
So yeah. I'm feeling I'm getting much better soon. Every day I'm getting better. Just my lungs and stuff still, like I can tell my breath, like I run out of breath. But man, it felt like I kept saying, like it felt like a 600-pound person was sitting on my chest, like I was just like gasping for air, like constantly. Like it's terrible because I have asthma and all this other shit. So like to get something that attacks your lungs like as their main thing, like yeah, it wasn't very fun at all. I will say though that we have working in casino sucks because you get COVID, unfortunately. So this was my third time having it, and this time was the least. The first two times, especially the first time, because nobody even knew what COVID was at the time. It was very early that in 2020 we got it. I had it for the Super Bowl, so the end of January I got it, and it didn't become a thing till like March.
Mm-hmm.
So like me and my wife both went to the hospital, like all the shit they kept saying, well, you have flu-like symptoms, but it's not coming up as anything. Like we don't know, like they gave us all this different medicine that nothing happened, helped, and then come to find out, later it was COVID. But man, like that time, like I thought I was gonna die, like seriously. Like I kept telling my wife, like, you're gonna need to take me to the hospital. Like, man, like she had to give me a bath like with alcohol, like in my bed, because I couldn't even make it to the bathroom, like because I was just burning up with a fever so bad. So it was nothing like that, thank God. Like it was much, much better than that. But yeah, still wasn't great, that's for sure. But I appreciate everybody asking, everybody's well wishes, everybody checking in on me. I appreciate you guys. So let's do this giveaway, and then we'll go ahead and get score predictions from everybody, because I don't want all the numbers to get mixed up. So hopefully everybody got your numbers in. All the duplicates, you got shit all figured out. Bebop says Stidham doesn't throw over 20 yards.
Wow, that's bold. That's bold.
Yep, Tanya, she's in the Super Bowl in the fantasy league, so her first year playing fantasy.
Oh, nice.
Killing it. Yep.
I didn't even play.
I know your team was just there. You let everybody win. Like every week they knew they played TL. That was an automatic win. Because his team has people in there that have been on IR the entire season and shit. All right, let's draw. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. Sin says she gave up. Me too. My team sucked.
Did you? That was funny. Like I know it was
71.
I know there was comments in there, and I saw you say something one time like, "Oh, whose team is that?" You're like, "I bet you that's TL's." There's like 6
Yeah.
people on the bench.
Because it was like half the team was like freaking on IR. The only people that were active were like sitting on the bench. I'm like, I already know that's going to be TL without even seeing.
The number was 71.
Yeah.
No Border Sports has 72.
Dang, Ryan. One away. I see Sin, her score prediction 42-9. So I got you, Sin. I see some. They're putting their score predictions already. So let me get this caught up. Congrats, Ryan. You get, where did I put it? Dang, my light went out. What's going on around here? So what you get, Ryan? Retro, Joe Montana, and TDP rookie card. Don't be giving up on my guy TDP.
All I gotta say is him being a 3rd-round pick. I hope he's better than Trey Sermon and Joe Williams. That's all. That's all I ask for.
I think he already, after one game, is better than them.
Yeah. Crazy.
Congrats, Ryan. All right, so score predictions. Let's see. What am I going to go with this week? I think something similar to what you're going with as well. I'm going to go 34-9.
Okay.
I'm not giving them that they're going to get no damn touchdown.
All field goals, huh?
Yep. All right, let's see. Melissa, 42-7. Dang. That'll be nice. We come in and drop a 40 burger.
No. Did you get Sins on top of hers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sin, Tanya, and Melissa.
Okay, perfect.
So go ahead and drop your score predictions, everybody. Let me play Ryan his thing so he doesn't feel left out. This for you, Ryan.
JV. No, it's not a green screen. This is what my living room looks like.
Yeah, green screen with his dog and
it got the red curtains. I don't know if you can see, but I have my Pac-Man lunch pail on the couch too. It's awesome. My woman, she bought it from me when we were in San Diego.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Nice. 34-3. Dang, a lot of blowouts here. Got Chrissy, 31-9. Your brother went 30-6. I need to go back up here because I skipped some people. Let me see. Load the truth, 44-9. Ryan, 35-9. Like we all have right around the same. Bebop with the lowest score so far. 28.
28-9.
Oh, and Bryant both 28. 28-9. Tanya, I got. Brother, I got. Bryant. I'm going to be like a speed reader by the time I'm done with this shit.
Seriously.
Speed reader and writer. 28-3. And luckily, so far, knock on wood, I haven't made a mistake yet with this, so. I was like, hopefully I don't forget somebody's freaking score one day and they guessed it exactly right or something.
Yeah, Tanya, I love to travel. I think when I was in the military, I got to see so much of the United States that, like, I know, there's a lot that goes on, and just not in the state I live in. My next trip is either going to be Minnesota to go to the Mall of America, or I'm going to try to go to South Dakota to see the Mount Rushmore.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Stop being a pussy, John. JDLR 33-13. Denise 50-7. Holy smokes. Dropping a 50 burger on the new year. That would be freaking amazing. Like, that would give us bragging rights in Vegas for a long time.
Somebody called a Breezy show this morning. I don't remember what the guy said, what the guy's name was, but he was said that how Kyle and his proteges, he always wants to one up them. You know what I mean? Like Sean McVay and all that. And somebody was like, yeah, he saw that 50 burger the Rams put up. Now Kyle's gonna go out there and gonna want to do the same thing. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised. So we get a 50 burger, that'd be amazing.
Miss Debbie said no exact score, but she's saying Niners by 24. I'll take that too. Tara Dome says 28-0. Calling for the shutout. That'll be awesome. 60 burger.
Somebody said 60. Yeah, I didn't see that call. I think the guy's name was Eddie or something like that called, if I can remember correctly. He was calling and he said, yeah, we're going to put like 50 points up. I'm like, okay.
Tony Montana 34-17.
Past 20 yards or over? Okay. I thought she was saying before he wasn't even going to throw for 20 yards, but I think she
20
meant,
yards and altogether.
Yeah, but now she's saying throwing past 20 yards. Okay, that makes sense. I'm like, dang, for him to not throw 20 yards, that's atrocious.
That's the he, not a she. Bebop is a he officially. I found out now. Oh, now see.
Oh, there we go.
Because he had to give me his name to give me his address to send giveaways, and then I found out it was a he.
Perfect.
So now we don't have to be trying to misgender
Yes.
Bebop every fucking episode. I'm always like, he, it. I don't know.
It. It's just that it. That's funny. Past 20 yards. Okay. I never really seen him. I think I saw him. Jared said him play in college before, but like, I don't really think he was that impressive in college either. So, but you know how what's his name is Josh McDaniels. He loves his guys. You remember when he went to Denver, he brought in Matt Castle, and that didn't work out either. So,
yeah, they have a bunch of Patriots guys on the Raiders right now. So
yeah,
they're like 6, 7, something of them. Debbie says, by the way, Miriah, I got last week's score prediction on the nose. Niners by 17 is what I predicted. The score was 37-20. Good job, Miss Debbie.
JV. He said, y'all getting canceled. This one.
They can't. I'm part of the LGBT community, so they can't cancel me, okay?
Yeah.
I am one of them. So I'm the wrong person for them to be canceling.
They're going to be hitting Miriah and be like, you need a new co-host.
So hopefully I got everybody. John B says, I know Mariah's feeling better when she calls me a pussy. It's been a rough week, y'all. Man,
That's
that
funny.
instant reaction show, I don't know how I freaking made it through that. Like, oh God, I was suffering. So I just did a bunch of fucking giveaways and got out of here. Because I'm like, I want to do a bunch of giveaways because it's Christmas, But man, I felt like shit. So
Cowboy Angel said I looked
whew.
up all his pro snaps. Stidham is a dump off, man. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. I set up instant, well, it probably won't be an instant reaction show. I set it for 5:30 so we can kind of go live like during the event. I'll go try to go live and give you guys a little something, show you guys around, just a little something so we don't forget about y'all on here.
You gonna bring that laptop with you
I'll just do it on my phone. I
on
mean,
your
I
phone?
ran our whole show on my phone before, so
That's true. You definitely did that.
so yeah, so I set it for 5:30 for after the game, but I'm gonna try to go live, during the game. I just didn't know exactly like when, so but we'll bring you guys something during the game and let you know what we got going on. So for those that are joining us, we'll see you there. For those that are going to the game, we're still going to be at Gordon Biersch. We have the room till 5, and then after that, we'll move out into the common area, the regular bar area and stuff. So definitely pull through. I know, Breezy, John Chapman, them, Ty, they're going to come through after the game. So if you guys are in Vegas for the Raiders game, definitely hit us up and pull through. Like, even if you can't, I'm not always have my DMs or whatever. So even if you can't get a hold of us, like, we're going to be there for a little while. So come through. Like, we're going to be
Yeah.
there. And it's
Dion too.
close,
Yeah.
right? It's only like what, 10 minutes maybe from
If
there.
that, yeah, it's like off of Flamingo. Like I want to say it's maybe a mile and a half away from Bally's.
Yeah. So
Not far at all. Yeah.
yeah. So
Hey,
just a
Cowboy
few
Angel,
minutes.
where do you live at? If you don't mind me asking. I know he kept saying like I wish I could be there. I wonder if it was close.
I know he said he
Um,
was from Pennsylvania, but I didn't check the
was that
address
where he's
to see
from?
if he's
Oh,
still there.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Dion's going to be here.
Yep.
Um, Lawrence is going to be here with his kids. I have some other people, some Vegas locals pulling through, and I don't know who else is going to be here. It'll be a surprise. We'll see. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
I know.
definitely. I'm
I
not
know that
taking a
Mike Finn
webcam.
guy. John, he said you could use my lunch pail to prop it. I know that
My
Mike
webcam's
Finn guy's gonna
busy in my
come
bedroom. Sorry, I can't bring it out
in your
here.
bedroom. Hey, we don't. Nah, I don't. Wow.
I've been had to have my wife work since she's been home with COVID. So
Pennsylvania, home of Joe Montana. Okay.
yeah, Pennsylvania. I knew that's where he had said he was from, but I just didn't know if he was still there or not because I haven't checked my damn email since. Yeah, that's where my family's from, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. I like that state. When I used to be stationed on the East Coast, I used to go up there and go to Philly sometimes, and then we used to hit up the King of Prussia Mall.
Davidville says,
Owens,
y'all,
he
my
caught it.
faithfuls, remember this epic commentator celebration. Owens. He caught it. That always gets me fired up.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a few that do. That I don't care for. What's that guy right now that does it? The old Raiders guy. Like,
Oh,
I know
Greg
some people
Papa.
like that. Some people like
Talking about
him a
Greg
lot, but
Papa.
he does some
Yeah.
weird shit sometimes that it's just like, man, like he's gonna be fucking getting canceled. The shit he be saying, like,
Yeah.
like just some stuff that, like, man, like an old man, like, shouldn't be saying. Like he needs like 1,000 pause afterwards, and he doesn't pause at all. Like,
The motor cats and fools don't care what they say.
yep. Saquon Barkley
Yeah.
lived up the street.
Oh, that's cool. I think I
So,
told you before. You know who's a great commentator? The guy who's who does the commentary for South Carolina. I remember like when Debo was there. That dude was
oh yeah,
amazing. He has such like a country voice too. It's so funny, but he gets all fired up. I love him calling games.
yeah. All right, fam. So yeah, we'll definitely go live sometime on Sunday and say what's up. Give you guys a live view of what's going on. Hopefully, we have a bunch of people show up and we get to meet a bunch of you guys. But if not, there's always another time. We'll definitely
Yeah.
do something again in the future, and hopefully, me and TL can get to some games that are in California and some other
Yeah.
places too.
Yeah, it was just, and I understand, like, it was one of those weekends where it's like, we talked about it before the whole thing, before we talked about, like, man, I hope the schedule is favorable to where maybe the game's in like October,
Yeah.
something like that. So we're like, but man, for the
You're
fact that
like
it's on
any day
New
but New
Year's,
Year's.
any different New Year's, and exactly what happened. So
Yeah.
it's just crazy how that happened. But hey, it is what it is. You know, I do know there's a decent amount of people coming because, so yeah, so it's gonna be fun. You know, the menu is gonna be amazing. There's like some this. So let me tell you guys all beforehand, like the coffee, the tea, the like the soft drinks, sodas and stuff like that are all free, unlimited, not free, but unlimited, just like all the food. And there's gonna be like some cheesecake there, some brownies for dessert, and then like the menu is gonna be like garlic fries, pizza, chicken BLTs, some fresh fruit. Like it's a nice menu. So and it's all you can eat for all of us. So
Yep. Yep. And then, like we talked about, we have raffles. We're going to have raffles going on and giveaways. So two separate things, so you'll get 2 raffle tickets with your entry. And then if you want to buy more raffle tickets, you can. And then everybody will get giveaway tickets. So we definitely have a bunch of things going on as well. And then just to enjoy the 49ers kicking the Raiders' ass, because we have some Vegas people that are Raiders fans that will be coming through as well. So we get to definitely pester them, and hopefully it's not the other way around.
yeah, I heard Izzy today on Breezy's show that said that the Niners defense are going to have at least 2 touchdowns. So we'll see what happens, Izzy. I hope you're right.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. I'm
Yeah,
definitely looking for the defense to freaking show up and show out, because this offense is barely hanging on. They're hanging on for their lives already. Like, all our defense needs to do is go and like stomp on their hands, like they're hanging at the edge of the cliff right now as it is. So
yeah.
go stomp on their fingers, let them fall, take them out, and let's get out of here. Like, just
Yeah,
make it through the game healthy, like, please, because we don't need to be losing players, especially against games like this. Like, the other team's already
exactly.
checked out, like, we don't need to lose players for a meaningless game, pretty much.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah,
chat, we
cool.
appreciate you. We love you. We had a bunch of you guys here today, so we definitely appreciate you guys all showing up, hanging out with us. Yeah, we'll talk to
I
you guys
appreciate
Sunday.
you all.
Everybody have a safe rest of your week. Have a safe weekend.
Yep.
Have a great 49ers Sunday. And have a happy
And a
new year.
happy New
Everybody,
Year. Yep.
please,
Happy New Year as well. Yep.
please be safe. If you guys are going out New Year's Eve, please be safe. Get a designated driver. There's too many options out there now. You don't have any excuse to be driving around all fucked up. So
Exactly.
call somebody. Call somebody to
Call.
call somebody. All right.
There you go.
We love y'all. Stay safe.